So let's move on to Best Buy. So this is a story someone sent to me. And this is really interesting. It is a letter. I actually have the letter here. I'm going to read it to you guys. It's from the Inclusive and Diversity Center. Or let's see. It's from the office, and it's from the Chief Inclusive and Diversity Officer. That's what it is. His name's Mark Irving. This is him right here. So this is Mark Irving. He's the Chief Inclusive and Diversity Officer for Best Buy Co. Okay, now this man sent out a letter to the company, and I have the letter here I'm about to read to you. And he references Corey Berry, who is the CEO of Best Buy, just to give you a little, background for this. So this is it right here. This is to the team of Best Buy. So if you work at Best Buy, I don't know if it's for everybody in the entire corporation, like regular employees might not have gotten this, but the person who sent me this is not a regular employee. They're up in corporate. So this was something that I know at least went to corporate. All right. And it's them basically just, here, I'll just read it to you. So it says, team, you may have heard or read the public comments Corey has made twice this week about the tragic shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. As a company, we've taken a stand on fighting for social justice, and I'm proud our CEO has continued to be public on this critical issue, including as part of our Q2 earnings call. Already just making it about their quarterly earnings and somehow tying that in with being woke. All right, let's continue, though. As Chief Inclusive and Diversity Officer, I wanted to also assure you I am listening, watching, and learning how I can best support you all in these moments of pain and anger, and as importantly, how we remain determined to be part of a meaningful change. You sell computers. You are a computer store. Why are you trying to be social justice warriors? I don't understand it. Why are we coming to you for this kind of thing? How are you making a standpoint? You're an electronics store. You sell TVs and computers and video games, and I guess now refrigerators also.
Oh, definitely.
And whatever. And it's just, my goodness, it gets worse. It gets worse. Since the senseless killing of George Floyd 3 months ago, we've taken these first steps. Internally, Corey assembled a group called the Task Force for Racial Equality to drive constructive organization-wide change. This task force, which meets twice a week and is led by employees throughout the company, will work with our executives and board of directors to identify ways to tackle inequality and injustices found within our communities. Externally, Best Buy and the Minnesota Business Partnership sent a statement to the Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, urging him to pass sweeping police reform, much of which was signed into law July 24th. Wow, so they're actually sending their influence to the mayor of Minnesota to pass sweeping police reform. So wow, they're not only are they just doing an internal memo, they're actually sending their they just sent a statement to the Minnesota governor Tim Walz, urging him to pass police reform. Oh man. All right. So, and then we also are leading the Minnesota Corporate and Community Coalition with over 25 companies, including fellow Fortune 500s, Target, General Mills, Medtronic, to develop clear and actionable plans to improve racial equity in our communities. Just last month, we signed a parity pledge. There's a link there to it, but a public commitment to interview at least one qualified person of color for every open leadership role that is at the vice president level or higher, including the C-suite and board of directors. So they are officially using race to pick their employees. I thought we got rid of that in the 60s. Wasn't that part of the civil rights movement? I was taught growing up, you don't judge someone's character on their color. Right? I still believe that. Yes. I want to know your character. I want to know who you are as a person. Your skin color does not matter to me. It doesn't come into play at all. They are pushing this rhetoric that is what makes a person a person. And I can't believe it. It just is so frustrating. My whole life, it didn't matter what color skin you were. If you were cool to me, I was cool to you. Period. No questions asked. And they're pushing this rhetoric that they need to be treated differently. They need a leg up. They need help because what? They need help? They can't do it on their own? They're lesser people or something? I don't believe that. Best Buy clearly believes it. That's what I see when I see this kind of stuff. Is them going, these people need a leg up. They need help. They can't do it on their own. That's what I see. I don't understand. I would be pissed if I was the target of this.
Right, because, well, there's a few reasons why. If you end up hiring someone because of their skin color and not because of their ability, and they're not good at their job, people in the company will end up resenting them. There might be racial tension as a result.
You're absolutely right. What if they're not qualified for the job? It does say at least one qualified person of color for every open leadership role.
And it's just for interviews. They're not saying they're going to hire them. They're saying they're taking it for interviews.
It's weird because
racial.
There's this part of me. I'm like, I don't care. That's not a big deal to me. No. Like, let them if they're qualified, cool, whatever. But I don't understand. It's like you're choosing to put race into it. So there's this like weird balance in my head where I'm like, it's like the term Black Lives Matter. I have no problem with it because I believe it. They do matter. Of course. It's not even a question in my mind. Of course they matter. Of course they should get a chance at anything if they're qualified. But then sending this out to everyone when they're saying about how, Jacob Blake was, the tragic shooting, like, yes, it was tragic, but they didn't include all the things that he was actually fighting with the police officers, was going for a knife that we're now finding out later on. We're like, oh, wow. So a lot of like it's kind of actually a sticky situation. It isn't so cut and dry, as everyone's trying to make it. So let me just finish reading the rest of this here. So they continue on. It says, for the first time, we will shorten our hours of operation November 3rd to ensure every employee will have the time to cast their vote in person. Okay, the first thing in this letter I'm actually cool with. Should be a national holiday, by the way. I don't see why anyone should work.
Or a month where you can vote. I don't know, it has to be on one day.
I think it should be one day, but national holiday, voting. We got to be able to vote.
Yeah.
Everyone should be able to vote. And actually, there's talk of turning stadiums, like basketball stadiums, music stadiums, into voting booths.
Walmart, hopefully.
Yes, like why not? Yeah, use the things that are there for us. So let me just finish reading this. It says, I am encouraged by the actions Best Buy has taken so far, yet acknowledging it is not nearly enough. We continue to build our team, capabilities, and initiatives to address inequalities and injustices and be part of meaningful change. I will keep you updated on our progress. In the meantime, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or my team if you need anything. All my best, Mark. So one of that last sentence, this right here, it just feels like that statement. It's not about just not being racist. We must actively be anti-racist, and it's just like that's what it seems to me. It's like by trying to do this, they're actually adding this racial element to it by making it about race.
There's a couple of types of equality. I learned this from Jordan Peterson. There's equality of opportunity and equality of outcome.
Okay.
And equality of opportunity, in my opinion, is very healthy. You want everyone to have an ability to begin, the access to whatever they need.
Yeah.
But equality of outcome, where you say, I have to have one woman, one black man, one Native American, one white man, that's when you're forcing people into positions because of their race or their gender.
Yeah.
To fill some sort of quota.
Yeah.
That's very dangerous, in my opinion, because for so many reasons.
Yeah. Well, you kind of mentioned it earlier. If they don't do the job up to the standard of what the job is, and the other people around them will start blaming the race.
They might.
Instead of blaming the fact that one person isn't qualified
I went to
for
Occupy
the actual
Wall Street,
job.
and I was going to speak. I had the Declaration of Independence. I was ready to tell people about like really just connect with everybody about the banking system. And the girl said, we're not letting any more white people speak. Too many white people have been speaking to the media. So they wouldn't let me speak. And that was the moment I gave up on the movement. And it was like the beginning, 2012. It was like the beginning, or what was it, 2000 something?
Yeah.
Of that weird racial movement.
That is true. It's about that time when that clickbaity racial stuff really started driving home. And honestly, President Obama had a lot to do with that. Like, he called it out so many times, even after the truth came out and it proved as a false narrative. He never went back on it. He just dove in full head first, just like, I've been told multiple times this year, that if I don't speak up, I'm part of the problem, and I shouldn't speak at all because I'm part of the problem. So it can't be both. It can't be both. And everyone needs to be part of the solution. Everybody. If you want everyone to be moving forward together, we have to all be a part of the conversation. I won't be told to be quiet. That's ridiculous. We can't. If you're going to blame white people for all your problems and not let them speak and not let it's just don't even get me started on that whole thing. I can go off, and it's just ridiculous that these people are pushing this narrative. California's trying to repeal civil rights. They're trying to make it so that you can legally discriminate based on race, and that they can do this. So there you have it. This is from Best Buy. This is from my secret insider. Thank you for sending me this. I'm going to keep your name out of it out of respect. I don't want you to get in trouble, but I really do appreciate you sending me this. This is crazy. We're seeing this.
Yeah, I went to the Black Lives Matter website a couple days ago because I was just so confused. Mm-hmm. What do they want? What does this movement want? I didn't know. And I learned that it was about, at least what I could pinpoint as something I could understand, was economic opportunity.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of it strives from people feeling like they don't have the economics or the power that comes from economics to even begin down a path of success.
Okay.
So if we look at it like that, I think we can take the color out of it and maybe,
So what you're saying is it's a class issue.
That's a better way to put it.
That's what Occupy Wall Street was. Tim talks about it a lot. Before they were like, introduce them to identity politics, and we'll be fine as we'll let the lower class fight amongst themselves based on something that has nothing to do with what's actually wrong with the system. They don't want people doing that. They want people being upset at each other, keeping us all separated, instead of uniting and being like, let's all do this together. Let's make a change non-violently.
Because we really could. If
yes, we could.
250 million people that were spending half of their year's salary on rent or whatever, or 40% of it is going directly into some rental age. If we unified, we could really alter the way the financial system is structured.
Agreed. Well, and not only that, wasting it on booze, wasting it on going to clubs, wasting it on frivolous items that don't further your life at all, by buying stuff from China that's just going to break. You're going to rebuy it instead of buying quality that you buy one time. There's all these different things. If you really want to save money and get up in the world, you can, but you have to be on top of it. All these people, fast food is expensive. It's so much cheaper to make your own food.
It is so cheap.
It is so cheap to make your own food.
Vinegar, salt, oil, and
it's simple.
An array of...
It just takes time. People are so used to things being easy. Oh, I'm going to go spend McDonald's isn't even cheap anymore.
And for the nutrition value,
I haven't eaten at McDonald's in a long time, so I actually have no idea. I just, from what I hear, it's rather expensive nowadays. It's not cheap anymore. And it's loaded with all,
salt.
Processed.
It's a lot of salt.
It's just
probably more than you.
It's terrible for you, and people
if
just
you
go
eat
there.
Enough nutrition out of a lot of that stuff, you overload on salt. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Way too much salt.
The
for your
salad
system.
dressings have so much sugar in them.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I
sugar
take
and
the
salt.
oil and vinegar, and I'll do vinegar.
Yep.
Garlic powder, onion powder, and oregano.
Okay.
And then salt, and then I'll spin it all around, and then I'll add a little bit of oil. olive oil, and then spin it all around, and it tastes like the most delicious Italian dressing. And then just dump a bunch of vegetables in the bowl.
Sounds pretty good.
Costs like 90 cents. You know,
Oh man, I mean, we can go on and on about, you know, this kind of stuff. So
okay.
No, but we're not going to do. I
topic.
wanted to call Best Buy out. I wanted to let everyone know that they're going woke.
Man,
we're going woke. I mean, you hear about Red Bull?
No.
Red Bull, there's some people that were in the company of Red Bull that were trying to do this, and the CEO of Red Bull was like, "Get out of here." Closed the whole inclusive diversity office of Red Bull, got rid of it, and they were like, "No, we're not going woke. We're a energy drink company. We support sports." And it's like, yes, they're not trying to make a political standpoint because they're an energy drink. They have a lot of say, and honestly, I think it says more that they're like, we're not going to choose this racist rhetoric. We're not going to do anything. We're going to continue on and doing what we're doing because, as I said before, I was raised that the color of your skin doesn't make who you are. You know, people need to stop making that their whole identity, like even like gender and your sexual preference. Like that shouldn't be what defines you. You can define yourself by so much more than that. That's just something that is. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the things that you can't change. You know, like I can't change the color of my skin. So why should that define me? Same with all these different things. Sexual orientation. That's how I feel. It's just define yourself with the character you are, not with the things that you can't change. Period.